Okay, so picture this. You've got a gate lock, right? And not just any lock. This thing's got locksmiths singing its praises online, raving about it left and right. That's the kind of lock we're diving into today, the Lockwood 3782. We're going to see if it lives up to the hype, separate fact from fiction, all that good stuff. And to help us out, we've got two awesome sources lined up for this deep dive. One's from a locksmith, a real 3782 enthusiast, apparently. And then we've got this super in-depth technical breakdown of the lock itself, all the nuts and bolts.
Ooh, should be a fascinating comparison, those two takes on it. I'm intrigued.
Right. Like, is it all marketing hype, or is this thing really the Fort Knox of gate locks? Especially because, and this is where you come in, dear listener, you're thinking about upgrading your gate security, and so are we, honestly. First things first. Our locksmith pal, he's all about how the 3782 is way more than just a latch. It's a whole security system, he says. Something about a mortise design. Any idea what he's on about there?
Oh, he's absolutely right. That's key with the 3782, that mortise design. See, most basic latches, they just keep the gate closed, which, is the bare minimum. But the 3782, the way it's built, this mortise design, means the whole lock mechanism is actually housed deeper within the gate itself. It's way tougher for an intruder to pry open or force.
Oh, okay. He actually uses this analogy. He compares it to the difference between, like, a flimsy fence and a solid brick wall.
Oh. Spot on analogy. With the 3782, you're not just relying on the latch itself. It's how that whole lock is integrated into the gate structure.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got this really robust bolt system the 3782 uses. Let's just say, this thing is not messing around.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of tough, he goes on and on about how it's Australian-made, the 3782, weather resistance. That's huge here, right?
Yeah,
you want something that can handle a bit of everything.
Huge. I mean, the Australian climate, we know it can be brutal.
Yeah.
But the 3782, built for it through and through. We're talking marine-grade stainless steel for the main components, and then solid brass for, like, the smaller bits and pieces, corrosion, salt air. Scorching sun. This thing just lasts.
Okay, so it's tough, that's for sure. But is it practical? Because the locksmith starts throwing around all these terms like reversible handing, classroom function. Honestly, it's like a whole new language.
Yeah, locksmith, we've got our own lingo. Don't worry, I'll translate. So reversible handing, that just means you can install this lock on a gate that opens to the left or the right. Super handy no matter your setup.
Right. Okay. So no more awkward installations just because your gate's being difficult. What about that classroom function, though? That's a new one.
Yeah, that's actually super handy, the classroom function. Especially, well, for schools, obviously. But also think like businesses, places with those internal courtyards. Basically, you can set the lock so it's unlocked from the inside, but it stays locked from the outside. People on the inside, they can come and go, no problem. But no one's getting in without a key.
That makes sense. Control the flow. Right. Okay, and there was something about key retract, too, wasn't there?
Yep. Key retract. So with this, you can only take the key out when the lock's in a specific position. Usually that's the deadlock position. It's like an extra layer of security, Make sure the lock's always properly engaged when you want it to be.
Starting to sound pretty Fort Knoxy to me now, our locksmith friend. He seemed really into that feature. Okay, well, moving on from the locksmith's take, our second source today, this one gets into the real nitty-gritty. All the technical muscle of the 3782, a lot to talk about, deadlocking, anti-tamper design. I mean, what does all that even mean in plain English?
Basically, they've engineered this thing to make life really, really difficult for anyone trying to break in. So deadlocking, that just means the latch can't be forced open from the outside. You know those movies, they slip a credit card in to pop the latch? Yeah, not happening with the 3782.
No more Hollywood break-ins, then. Good to know. What about the anti-tamper stuff, though?
That's where things get clever, really clever. They've designed it to resist picking and drilling. Like, the lock cylinder itself has all these special security pins, features that make it seriously tough to get past. Even for an experienced picker, it's a nightmare, this thing.
So it's like a security system built into the lock itself. Sneaky. I like it.
Exactly. And then on top of all that, you've got the different keying options you can choose from. You can really customize the 3782, set it up exactly how you need it.
Okay, yeah, break those options down for me. What are we talking here?
All right, so you've got your key-to-like systems, for one. Those are great if you value convenience. One key opens multiple locks, so your side gate, front gate, all that. Then you've got your master key systems, perfect for businesses, larger properties, and you need those different access levels.
Right. Like a manager's key that opens everything, but the staff keys only work on specific doors.
Exactly. And then, for the ultimate in security, you can go for a restricted key system. With those, keys can only be copied by authorized locksmiths, so you have super tight control over who has access. high security places, government buildings, that kind of thing.
Wow, okay, next level.
Yeah.
So, to recap, we've got durability, we've got flexibility, now we've got high-tech security features. Is there anything this lock can't do? Make me a cuppa.
I wish. It can't quite do that, unfortunately. Both our sources did mention, though, that the 3782 is modular,
Mm.
and it comes with a pretty solid warranty, too.
Right, right. Okay, before we wrap up completely, let's talk about those two things. Why are they a big deal for someone who's, seriously considering the 3782?
Well, it all comes down to value and peace of mind, really.
Right.
Modularity, that basically means you can upgrade parts of the lock later on. Or repair them. You don't need to replace the whole thing if something goes wrong. Let's say down the line you decide you want to add an electronic component to it, some fancy tech with the 3782. You can often do that because of how it's designed.
So you're not stuck with what you initially buy. I like that. That's practical.
Exactly. And then the warranty, that's just good peace of mind, isn't it? Shows that Lockwood stands behind their product. Especially here in Australia, the solid warranty, that's essential.
It's like they're saying, we know this lock's a beast. Bring on the harsh sun. Bring on the salty air. Even those relentless burglars. They've got you covered. Okay, so to sum up the 3782, durable, secure, surprisingly adaptable, even a bit future-proof with that modular design. Not bad at all for a gate lock. But there's one more big question we need to address before we finish up, right? We've talked about all the cool stuff the 3782 can do, how tough it is, but what about the elephant in the room, Smart homes. Everything's going digital these days. Can this lock, which, let's be real, it's kind of old school in a way, can it hang with all the new tech coming out?
It's a good question. And this is where it gets interesting. Neither of our sources really went into detail on this, BUT, that modular design we talked about. That might be the key. Like, it opens up a world of possibilities for integrating the 3782 with, smart home systems and all that.
So even though it's not, marketed as a smart lock right now, it's got the potential to become one down the line.
Exactly. Imagine this. You're expecting a delivery, but you're not home. No worries. Just use your phone, unlock the gate remotely, let the delivery person in. Or how about this? Your phone buzzes, you get an alert someone's messing with your gate lock. Talk about peace of mind.
Yeah, no more wondering if you remember to lock up properly. That's huge.
It's like having a digital guard dog watching over your property 24/7.
I like it. So for our listeners out there, the ones who are now just as obsessed with this lock as we are, what's the big takeaway? What's the headline here?
If you need a gate lock, and I mean really need one, something strong, versatile, something that can even join the smart home revolution if you wanted to, the 3782, it's a serious contender. More than just a lock, it's an investment.
And hey, who knows, maybe in the future you'll be unlocking it with just your voice. Or your fingerprint. The future of home security, it's already here. That's it for this deep dive, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one. Stay secure out there.